Hello and cheers to you. Cheers. Good evening, beautiful tropical South Florida. I'm live on YouTube, taking a swig of water, and I'm going to share with you tonight, like I do every night on YouTube. I appreciate everyone who joins. Tonight, the topic that I want to open up the show with is in the blink of an eye. I titled it that because I was looking up some things about Bob Marley. Because during the course of my day, I was thinking about "Don't Worry, Be Happy," the song, the reggae song, and I was thinking about that because I was enjoying the beautiful, hot, tropical day, I had thoughts of worry, and no matter what I do in life, no matter how good life is going, you always have thoughts of worry, and there's no way around that, and so I just thought of that song, "Don't Worry, Be Happy," and I said, well, that's probably a crock of BS too, because didn't he end up dying early, Bob Marley? But I didn't know what it was from. Like I didn't know. Like a lot of times I see like Marlon, Marilyn Monroe. I see quotes from her and like people quote them, and she ended up taking her own life, right? So, but I looked up Bob Marley because I was trying to remember, how did he die? Did he commit suicide? Did something happen? And so I googled Bob Marley and his death. Um, and what I found was interesting to me. He died in Miami. He died in Miami, Florida. I'm just right outside of Miami, Florida. He died at the age of 36. At the age of 36, Bob Marley died in Miami from melanoma cancer, I believe. Cancer was what took his life, an illness from it. And when they were saying on how his discovery of cancer and being sick became, he was jogging in Central Park in New York City, and he had fainted. He collapsed, and that's when he was diagnosed, I guess, with cancer. And his last show, his last live performance, was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And then when I was reading on Google, it was interesting. He tried to fly, I guess, overseas, I think to Europe or somewhere over there, to try to cure the cancer with changing his diet, like maybe it was a plant-based diet or something at that time, but it couldn't change it. Food can help, but when there's certain illnesses, nothing can change it. I was dating a girl at one time. She had ovarian cancer, and after it kind of like cycled out, and she took the treatment and everything, she changed her diet somewhat, and then after 5 years, they claimed her a survivor, and then she died, I think, in the seventh year. So, but what I could tell you is, back to the Bob Marley story. So he went overseas to try to do some experimental diet change, that maybe the foods he would eat would be able to counteract the cancer. Cancer is basically like a deformed cell that mutates and that multiplies, and your body is just made up of cells. And so it kind of like just degenerates your whole body, in one simple way of saying it. So when he found out that when he was overseas and he couldn't cure the cancer with this like magic or this diet, he had got real ill. So he decided to fly back to Jamaica, his homeland. And I guess on his way back to Jamaica, in the airplane, they tell he got real sick, and they stopped in Miami, and that's when he died in Miami. And so I reflected on that topic in a blink of an eye. At 36, he was younger than I was. Bob Marley was 36. I'm 38. They say Jesus was only 33 when he died. I believe Martin Luther King died early. And then I thought about, wow, many powerful people that changed the course of history, they died early. But then I think about too, I mean, some lived older. Sometimes life isn't over in a blink of an eye. Sometimes life drags out endlessly, again and again and again. So it could feel long or it could feel short, but when it's over quick. And anything in life, I mean, I was reflecting on that, what Bob Marley said with death, but anything in life, you know, the people you hang out with, the place you live, the job you have, kind of like when it ends, it's just a blink of an eye and like a whole nother life has begun or a whole nother life has ended or something has just changed. Change kind of happens sometimes slowly, sometimes, but then all of a sudden in a blink of an eye, everything is different. Of course, I was also reflecting on Kim Porter, which was Puffy's ex-wife or baby's mom, and also I didn't know she was married to Al B. Sure, and I didn't know Al B. Sure wrote the song "Forever My Lady." I didn't even know he wrote that song. He wrote that for Kim Porter. I didn't know that. I read that today online. "Forever My Lady," classic Jodeci song. Classic. And then I said too, well, he wrote "Forever My Lady," and then she ended up getting with Puffy. Nothing lasts forever. Here you go. You write one of the most magical R&B songs in history. "Forever My Lady" by Jodeci. Top 3, easy. And then she ends up marrying Diddy. So I don't know. Life, everything changes quick. But those are my thoughts, and that's how it evolved today. It evolved because I'm like, that you can never shake worry. You try to shake worry by working out, by walking, and it helps. It does help. By eating right, it helps. But life is, like a cancer. I mean, you can do all it, it still takes hold. Worry is a cancer. And I mean, again, metaphorically speaking, no disrespect to, I know people that have had cancer, a horrible thing. Um, my grandmother on my mother's side, my mom's mom, she died of cancer, horrible. And my mom still talks about it. She died when she was very young, and she had got like a big tumor on the back of her head, and it just got bigger and bigger, and it took hold of her whole body. And she said, it was really bad at the end. She doesn't remember too much, but in a blink of an eye, that's how life goes. And so, those are my thoughts, and then obviously it always goes back to, look, just make the most of each day, be thankful. In some ways, I guess that brought a little bit of relief. I'm going to get to live comments in a minute, so please leave the live comments. I love to chat. That helps to let some of it out. That's good. But, in one sense, when I was looking at that, when I was researching Bob Marley's life, I said, wow, my man, I've lived 2 years longer than Bob Marley. Again, if Jesus was 33, I've lived, 5 years older than Jesus. And so you think, wow, I've lived longer than some people have done a lot of things. And so in one sense, it kind of puts life in perspective and kind of like says, well, don't be too sad or don't worry too much. And then at the same time, again, I'm a realist. It says, life can drag on too, or worry never ends. I mean, even when everything's going great, you still worry. But that's part of life. I'm not going to avoid that, but I still make the most of it, and I still address it, and I stay thankful. I stay happy, positive. It's just interesting. I mean, I guess I'm an observer. I observe my own thoughts. I observe life. I don't mind fuck it. I've learned not to do that either. I mean, I embrace the day. These videos are at the end of the day as I collect my thoughts, but I share with you the navigation of the mind and, how life is interesting. But I think that's the main thing I just wanted to touch on. I don't like to drag the opening thing out, but there's something that I want to share in the beginning of the live feed that's important to document my thoughts and what I've gone through or going through. And now we're going to get to all live comments, and we'll see where that go. I mean, we could talk about free porn, or we could talk about deep, dark stuff. Let's see what happens. Tony, what's up, man? Yeah, I'm first. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate whoever is first or whoever is last. I try to treat everyone the same, and I got love and respect. Aaron, I had a public sub today. Good job. Hope it was vegetarian. Ended up getting almost the same thing. Good stuff. Good. I did a video a couple days ago about a magical vegetarian sub. Check it out. I actually had another one today. It's very magical. And hold on. Before everyone gets all sad, I did find the right type of skinny pop, salt and pepper. And don't, before you get really sick, I loaded up. I loaded up. Why? Because you can't find this magical popcorn everywhere. Look at that. Take a screenshot. All right, don't masturbate to it. God forbid. But, you got to make life as enjoyable as possible. So if you see salt and pepper skinny pop, buy in bulk. Even if you're living in a car, you'll find room. Okay. Linda, good evening. Good evening to you. Tom, good evening, Sam. Tom Hanks, Boone, North Carolina's in the building. Tom's on a check-in with the George from Seinfeld face profile emoji. Brandon. Love your content. I appreciate that. Thank you. Don't mean to be shrewd. That's all right. When you say best friends become strangers, oh, definitely. That's very true. Man, 100 emoji to you. In my case, I feel like best friends become assholes. Well, I understand what you're saying. I understand where you're at. Take a step back, let it go, and move on with your life. Just like in the Bronx Tale when Sonny had grabbed a young kid because the young kid was pissed at one of his friends. He let borrow $20 and then he was dodging him. Sonny was like, "Why the hell are you running after this kid?" He goes, "Well, I let him borrow $20. Now he's dodging me." He goes, "Well, why you? That was the best $20 you spent. Now he will never bother you the rest of your life. You basically spent $20 to expose someone who's not a real friend. So rejoice, And then like with Sonny from the Bronx Tale used to say all the time too, is like nobody cares anyway. You know what I mean? But look, don't get cynical that their friends were in your life for a but you gotta evolve. Even like people, I was thinking about that too. There has been people on this channel that we've connected, like, oh, we're best friends now, we're best friends. And then now I don't know where most of them are. So that happens in the virtual world, happens in real life. It's just the way life is. And what I've learned as I got older, I just let go. I let go of it all. And it's sad because there's times where you really connect with people and you think, man, we're really in tune. Then you have an argument or somebody gets offended or you just can't handle the relationship anymore. And in a blink of an eye, that relationship is over. But you have to just learn to let go. That's really letting go in life is going to be a saving grace to you. Holding on too tight is going to be a disaster. It's not easy to let go. I mean, throughout the course of the whole day, I'm fighting to let go. Let go of sad thoughts of my dog that passed away. Let go of sad thoughts of things I wish went differently. Let go of the fact that I can't relive certain years, and let go of time. That's a discipline. Every day, one of the biggest battles is letting go of thoughts and you don't hold on to them too long. And as you get older, that gets harder. Because the older you get, the more thoughts you have because the more collected memories and the more time that's behind you. When you're young, you can have hope, ambition, or whatever because you got a lot of time in front of you. There's like endless possibilities. But as you get older, there's less time in front of you, less possibilities. So you tend to look backwards. And so you got to let go even more when you're older. And that's not easy. Because like I said, you can easily end up Al Bundy on the couch talking about, how you scored 3 touchdowns in one football game in high school. And no one cares. That's the truth. Peggy Bundy sure don't care. And you think somebody on YouTube care? Oh, no way. Tracy, hello, how are you? I'm pretty good. I'm thankful. Look, I got to find time to laugh. I got to find time to walk. And I got to find time to watch free porn. And hopefully in the middle of that, I get some money. I stay healthy and I make the most of my life. That's what I'm doing. What's up with you? Good to see you. Tony, cancer killed Bob Marley. Yeah, I just went over that. Thank you for sharing. Was treatable, but he didn't want to shave his dreads. Was that part of it too? I didn't read that part of it. That's interesting. I know he's Rastafarian, which that may play part. I didn't know that was. But I would say even that I would challenge if that was really the cause, right? Because they said the same. Steve Jobs didn't want to cut his body open when he had got cancer. He fought it for a while, but then he cut his body open and then he died anyway. And my mom's mom. My grandmother on my mom's side, my mom always said as soon as they cut her open, the cancer spread and that was it. So I'm not saying that. And even like the girl that I knew that had ovarian cancer, she went for treatment immediately. She did all the radiation. She got all the cancer out. After 5 years of it in remission, they declared, oh, you're a survivor. She had all the pink ribbons and all that crap. And then 2 years later, dead. Came back with a vengeance. So there's like I often say, life is an art, not a science. Yes, you need science. Yes, you need data. Yes, you need technology. You need all these things. But there is some type of part about life that you can't figure out. You can't just say you do X, Y, Z, and this is the result. Because it may be the result a certain amount of times. And that's what you do. You try to, what are your odds? Like when you go to a doctor or when you have like something like that and you're faced with a severe illness, there's no guarantees in anything in life. So what you kind of negotiate with the doctor is, all right, if I get this surgery or if I do this thing, what's the percentage chance I get better? And so what you're doing is you're a risk manager. You're managing your risk. It's the same thing like, you're trading stocks or something like that. But what I've learned from all that stuff is you can manage your risk. Then all of a sudden, one thing, even though you've managed your risk, one thing can turn and in a blink of an eye, everything went to shit. But you should take calculated, you should calculate your odds of doing things. And you should evaluate that as part of your decision-making process, because you certainly just don't want to make decisions blindly or ignorantly. But again, life, there's no exact science to life, is what I'm saying. And that's why people even debate on, is this real, or is that real, or is this a cycle, or is that a cycle? They debate climate change because they say, look, climate change, no, it could just be a cycle throughout the course of mankind's history, which we only have data on mankind's history for a few hundred years, or it could be a beginning of a trend lower. No one knows. It's you have some information, you have some knowledge that says, look, certain things are changing. Now, but in the context of how old people still debate how old the world is. No one knows how old the world is technically. I mean, some people say millions of years. I have a hard time believing anyone who says they can tell me for a fact that the earth is millions of years old. Who the hell can tell? Most people can't even recite history from 10 years ago. They forget 10 years ago and forget about but you have to, you certainly don't want to have an evolved society where you don't take into consideration any data, any science, and you're just totally ignorant. And you breed ignorance and you don't study and you don't heed warnings. But like I've often said, society and human nature struggle with balance and the balanced thought. So these are just some thoughts as I share on this topic. Shirley says cancer sucks. Yep. It doesn't look, life sucks, in one sense. Cancer's part of life in this world. Even when you're healthy and everything, you're still worrying. And then when you get sick, what I've learned, I remember when I pinched a nerve in my chest and my whole nervous system was playing havoc on my body. Sometimes I couldn't even walk without being in pain. I had shooting pain up and down my leg, all the way up into my jaw, all the way around my back. And you just pray to be healthy again, to be able to walk and to be able to move without pain. And then you're able to do it. And then, of course, then you're back into the grind of life, and then other mental pressures are getting at you. But it's certainly true that, look, when you're suffering physically, life is very hard, very hard. But we have to be thankful. We have to make the most of each day. That's what I say, and that's what I practice. That's what I preach. I just don't avoid speaking on the harsh realities of life, but I stay happy, and I keep laughing and spreading jokes. A lot of people still serious, and they're telling me to be positive. Well, lighten up then. Watch some free porn. Tracy, I know it sure does. D from New Hampshire. Both my parents had cancer. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't wish that on anyone. Mary, hey Sam, hey, how you? Tracy, my mom had cancer. Wow, everyone's sharing, man. Thank you, everyone, for sharing that. D, Tracy, and everyone, man. Shirley, Tom, I love that you share your thoughts. Thank you, brother, at the start. Thank you. I keep it short and simple. Good job. Yes. And one of my favorite things you said is that pastors spend hours on a message. Yep. That could last 5 minutes. Thanks. Amen. Thank you. I remember, for a while, for like 10 years, I was tied into a non-denominational church. I grew up Catholic. I always felt God in my spirit. But I didn't like some of the Catholic teachings because there was a lot of dogma, meaning man-made tradition, and interpretation. And so I seeked out, but I definitely believed in Jesus. Why did I believe in Jesus? Because I got to a certain point where I was like, look, I'm going to believe whatever I want. When I read the scriptures and when I think about a man who stood in front of a prostitute that was going to get stoned to death because the religious law said if you commit adultery, you deserve death. Okay? That's what the religious law, the Torah, the Jewish faith, and even Islamic faith, some of that, the law, religious law calls for eye for an eye, a certain amount of vengeance. It's the way it is. It's no disrespect. It's not to saying that everyone practices that form of it, because there's reformed churches in Jewish faith and some faith in Islamic faith. So just like in Christianity, there's different denominations, and even in Christianity, look, they overlooked women's rights and slavery for many years too. So no one religion has like a niche on saying we're always been 100% right. Every one of them has fucked up basically. But why I believe in Jesus, I mean, I have to build context. I have to directly talk to you. I mean, if I don't do that, I have a conversation. Why I decided to believe in Jesus was, look, somebody who stands in front of a prostitute and say, "Let he who has no sin cast the first stone," that's grace. That means, look, this person fucked up. They deserve what they're going to get, but I believe in grace. And that's basically what believing in Jesus is. You're saved by grace, not by following some stringent religious law. And that offends some people. I've tried to have conversation. It offends people. There's no way around that. Because people want to hold on to their tradition, their faith. I mean, I even offend some Christians because I don't really fuck with a lot of them either. But it is what it is. I mean, look, we can dance around it for a million years. It is what it is. I lose people in the chat. They love it. People, but it's not even evil. It's just that, look, that's the way they've been taught. They hold on. They look. One thing that, I remember when Barack Obama was president, one thing that he said that they give him a lot of shit for was that people cling to their religion and to their guns. And in a certain aspect, I believe in that. I don't believe that, you should give up your faith or give up your right to defend yourself. But I believe that people cling to certain things when you feel like you're going to threaten their thought process or their way of what they've known to be true. Because it's their tradition, it's their culture, it's their way of being, their way of thinking. And, that's just the way life is. I know we got off to a side conversation, but, these are part of my thoughts. But I go back to that to say, let me finish though, because Tom had mentioned about pastors can wrap it up in 5 minutes. So I remember I joined a church, a non-denominational church, which I eventually left because I thought that was a little bit of BS. But they taught me a lot, and they gave me a lot of opportunity to speak and to be a leader in a church. And they gave me an opportunity to. One of the first times I gave a sermon in church. The topic of the sermon was the Promised Land. And I remember I did it, and even that offended some people, even the Christian faith. I said the Promised Land isn't a place you can point on the map. Right away, everyone got offended. Because for some people the Promised Land is Israel. It's Jerusalem, and if you say different, you're dead to them. But even in the Old Testament, it said that at certain times Jerusalem and Israel became a prostitute. Book Isaiah. To me, it's like, look, God is inside people. Doesn't matter where you're at. In my opinion, I know people cling on to it though. It's all right. It doesn't matter where you're at. To me, United States, Africa, Jerusalem, Asia. I respect a certain traditions and heritage of people, but to me, it's like, how do you treat people? That's where God lives. That's where the Promised Land is. The Promised Land is inside you, and it's inside a person of good character and of good actions, not on one place of the map. If you believe in one place of the map, I'm wearing different pages. It's no disrespect, but that's how I feel. I mean, I have to share how I feel, and I'm just sharing. I don't want harm on anyone. I lose a lot of people because of that. And that's okay. They got to do them. I got to do me. But I remember when I gave that sermon on the Promised Land, because I've always felt like that. And even people in that crew, I remember when I started saying that, they got pissed. Just like they got pissed when I said I wanted to play DMX. You want to get your pastor pissed after you tell them Jerusalem ain't the Promised Land. Wait till you tell them next thing you want to tell them you want to play DMX. Then they really get pissed at. Then that's it. And you watch porn. Forget about that. Then you're out of there. Then everyone leaves the chat room. But that's what I do. And that's life. Some people can't accept it. They want to play a show. They want to play a church game. I don't care. I'm not playing that game. Life over in a blink of an eye. You think I'm going to be playing the game with these people? I'm playing a game with these people. But I remember one thing. Again, I give him credit because it was good people who led the church. I mean, they had their faults and they ended up having some faults, but they still helped me a lot, and I acknowledge them. I appreciate them. But I remember the one woman pastor saying that is that the sermon shouldn't be more than 15 minutes. They're more than 15 minutes, they're too long. And I remember when she said that, because initially I said, well, I want it to be longer. But then when she said that, I said, you know what, that's wisdom. But then I said to myself, why the hell are your sermons an hour long then? You know what I mean? So it was like crazy, but that was wisdom. You know, it's like they used to give like 2 hour services, but they're telling us no sermon should be more than 15 minutes. And I actually said, you know what, that was right. But that's why I always remember that now. That I never try to make. I mean, 15 minutes even too long, but I try to keep things under 10 minutes, definitely under 15 minutes. You know, you don't want to stretch out the conversation or the message because it gets lost. It's just the way it is. John Suttles, I hope you have a great weekend. Have a great weekend, my friend. Respect and honesty. Same back to you. I appreciate that, John. Thank you for your support, brother. Megan, hello again. Tune in from who knows where, Texas. I ain't mad at that. Love and respect to the Lone Star State, my friend. Good to see you. Yeah. You're going to lose some people being yourself. Um, you know, it's just the way it is. You will. And so you're going to have to get ready for that. Free to be me. Peace, Sam. Peace back to you. And that is one of the parts that I liked about the Catholic Church the most. That one part, that 2 minute or 2 second part of the Mass where they say, where there's a part of the Mass where you turn to the person sitting next to you in church. And at that time, you shake their hand. I mean, I would give the pound now because I don't like shaking hands. I don't like carrying germs. But at that time in the Catholic Church, they say, turn to your neighbor, extend the hand of peace. And you would turn to your neighbor, you would shake their hand, you say, peace be with you. Or you would hug, if it was a female, you say, peace be with you. And that was always divine. I always felt that was part of God, like that part of the service. There was other parts of the service I saw, oh, what a bunch of BS. But that part of it, I always felt God there. You know, I think if more people, no matter what their religion, if they, you know, just peace be with you is a powerful thing, man. Like you wishing someone else peace. Oh, like that's got nothing to do with religious dogma. You know what I mean? Or a law. I mean, it's just peace. I don't know. You know what I mean? So and even people like I don't like, I wish them peace. I don't wish people suffering. Some people can't. I don't know, man. I hope some people get that one. I hope I said the name right. Suave Bella. I heard so many stories about people who had cancer and cured it by going raw vegan. Some did, some won't. But it probably depends on individual circumstance. Yes, and other factors. Amen. That's a great comment, and I would agree with that. But again, I think it's wisdom. I practice what I preach. I have a plant-based diet. I think that will, on average, make you healthier. Will it guarantee anything? No. I think it'll increase your odds. Statistically showing, I think it says a vegetarian or a plant-based diet, you live like 2 or 3 years longer, if not more, than a meat eater. I remember like when I lost 200 pounds and I started changing my diet, I remember someone said to me, Sam, you just extended your life by 10 years. And I remember hearing that. I said, oh shit, what'd I do that for? Because I mean, how old do you want to live? I mean, you know, do you want to live to 90? Do you want to live to 110? I don't know. I see people like that. I mean, especially here in Florida, I've always observed the elderly. When I was young, I used to hang out with my friends' parents a lot of times. And I've always spent time with the elderly. I've always listened to them. I value them because they're at an interesting part of life. And you know, obviously here in Florida, there's a lot of elderly. Some people should not be driving. Dude, I remember there was somebody in the Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru the other day, and the lady working at Dunkin' Donuts, she was like, I can't believe that person's driving. And he just told me they had dementia. I'm like, why are you driving? Believe me, Florida is a reason that the car insurance is the highest here than every other place in America. But back to the story. I was walking on the beach, on a pathway right next to the beach today. And there was a bunch of senior citizens. And some of them with canes, some of them with walkers. My mom needs a walker many times. And I observe where they're at in life. And I said, would you want to add 10 years to where they're at? Because I look at their quality of life. It's very hard for them to walk when you get to a certain age. Very hard for you to be physically active. do you want to live another 10 years? So I don't know. Maybe you're better off eating meat. But I'm not going to eat meat. But just, I think about that. It's an amazing thing, right? So it's interesting. But there's a scripture that says, don't be too bad. Why die before your time? At the same time, don't be too good. Why destroy your life? Those who really love God will avoid both extremes. Powerful. I think that's from the book of Ecclesiastes. Tom Hanks worked a crazy amount this weekend to cover for Blanton's lazy ass. I ain't mad at that. I said, well, you said lazy self. I get lazy ass. Blanton, you being lazy out there? Only to get $100 parking ticket. Last night, parking 5 minutes to feed Blanton's girlfriend cats. Oh man, what? Why you feeding Blanton? Blanton got you out there like you like you work for him. Blanton, you gotta get your shit together, man. You messing up my man Tom, man. Now, did I ever get into an argument with a friend over a parking ticket? Not over a parking ticket, but over a speeding ticket. Now, love and respect to my guy. I'm not gonna say his name because we ended up piecing it up, and he's a good guy, and I love him. But I remember we took a trip down to Washington or Maryland area, Washington, D.C. Our friend had made it to the NBA. And we had went to Madison Square Garden. I'm actually on YouTube. If you Google Rodney White draft, Rodney White, he got drafted by the Pistons. I don't remember what year it was, 1999 or 2000. Rodney White drafted the NBA. And I was at Madison Square Garden, and for a split second, I was on TV with me and my friends. Like when they announced his name, they showed us in the crowd like going crazy. So either way, so after he had got drafted, he had threw a draft party in Washington, D.C. And that's where I have family. And I remember who else was there? The guy Chandler. Who was the Chandler that played for the Knicks, but he got drafted by the Bulls? He was another player that was in that same draft. But either way, he was throwing a party in downtown Washington, D.C. And so at that time, I had two cars. I had an Acura Legend, I had a Jaguar. And so I was like, I'll drive the Jaguar. I'll let another friend of mine drive the Acura. So we go from Jersey, and we're traveling down. We drove down to D.C. And like down in D.C., now this was like whatever, 15 years ago or so. So back then, like not every place had cameras on like on street lights. So Washington, D.C., they had them. So we were racing down there. I mean, we were racing. So, and I don't drive that fast anymore, but when I was young, that's what it was. So we were racing down I-95. We were doing like over 100. I almost died because I almost got in an accident, but thank God I did. But either way, so we get to Washington, D.C., and we're all trying to race to keep up with each other because we're going to this party. And my friend's driving my car, one of my cars. I'm driving Jaguar. He's driving Acura Legend. He goes through a red light, and the camera flashes on top of the street light and takes a picture of the thing. And so like we get the ticket gets sent to me in the mail like 2 months later. And I told my man, I was like, you got to pay for this. I said, I wasn't driving. You're the one that ran through it. And like we had a little argument about it. And it was like, but eventually he paid it. And love and respect him. He's a good man. There's no disrespect. But I think about that, like that quick, in a blink of the eye, best friends become strangers over like some fucking parking ticket or over a speeding ticket. Same thing with you and Blanton. Like that's your man now. You feeding his girlfriend's cats and everything like that. And next thing you know, you and Blanton about to throw blows. Why? Because life changed in a blink of an eye. That was a good story. And then Tom said, yeah, basically, so Megan, I'm getting an intense distaste for hometown friends lately. Get the hell out of there then, Megan. You got to change your life, because let me tell you something. You think somebody else going to make your life better? Psh, people living in their own misery. But I got love for you. Blanton. Blanton coming in hot. Let's see what Blanton got to say. At Tom. Friends become stranger over parking tickets. Well, I just broke that story down to you. Or they end up shooting a fair one. And that came close. And we don't want that to happen. We got to stay strong. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Tracy. I'm fine. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for asking. Oh, okay. Tracy, love and respect. Tom. Blanton. You owe me some salt and pepper skinny pop. Well, I doubled up. Check it out. Skinny pop. This episode of Inspirational Nomad brought to you by Skinny Pop. Now, not, I wish it was. You got to tell them cut me a check. Tell Skinny Pop super chat me. Now, Skinny Pop was actually bought out by Hershey. I believe Hershey owns Skinny Pop. So they could definitely, make it rain. Surfer Mama. Hey, Surfer Mama. Always risk the stocks, use more money than you can afford. That way, if you lose, you'll have no money and a fresh start. Everyone's got to do them. I don't tell people how to live. People should do whatever makes them happy. Thank you for the comment, Tommy. It is nice to know someone else thinks like I do. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. Refreshing. Keep it up, saying thank you. And then cheese emoji. Look, you got to smile. Why? Because look, if you don't smile, you're really going to get fucking pissed about life. So just smile. Even if you got to fake it. Fuck, don't be an asshole. Good job. Tony. Hey, Sam. Do you have to deal with the red tide thing where you are? No, red tide has dissipated. It's pretty much gone away. Why? Because red tide is partly a natural occurring thing during the height of the summer with the height of the rainy season. And then there's some man-made issues with Lake Okeechobee, and because of its rainy season, they let out water. But red tide is natural, but it usually dissipates with the cooler temperatures and the lack of rain. So Lake Okeechobee doesn't have a variety of factors. There's no one exact thing to point to. Again, because life is an art, not a science. There's different factors that exaggerate the problem. But right now with the cooler temperatures, today was about 80 degrees Fahrenheit, about 75 degrees Fahrenheit now. In the summer, it's like, feels like 100 every day. It's humid, it's hot, it's rainy season. But no red tide. Thank God. I was thinking about that today. I was driving up a part of the coast that last year had red tide, and it was a disaster. Well, earlier this summer had red tide. But it's nice, and no red tide. Surfer Mama. Sam, stop using the F word. No, that's me. I'm not. I try to not curse like just to curse. And I respect you, but I got to respect myself. Now you probably don't curse, but maybe your kids don't like you, or maybe you have other issues. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe you're a deceiver. Maybe you're a person who guilt trips. So I remember Bill Cosby used to tell Eddie Murphy not to curse. Remember Bill Cosby? Bill Cosby was a clean-cut guy. Give me a fucking Coke and a smile guy. Okay, he kept harping on Eddie Murphy. Don't curse. It's bad for the children, and I don't like when you curse. And then years later, crucified Eddie Murphy for being vulgar wanger. Bill Cosby was drugging women and having his way with them. Okay, manipulator. He's in jail now. I think he's dying. He's like blind and everything. It's horrible. And I like the Bill Cosby show. I learned a lot of lessons. But what I could tell you is I'm not going to just curse for the sake of cursing, but this is who I am. So I respect you. And if you want to join the chat, great. If you don't, I'm not going to change who I am. I don't want you to change who you are. Like my dad was real skinny. He wanted my mom to be real skinny. My mom was a foodie. Be an overweight person with diabetes. Am I going to try to change you and make you be Jacqueline? No. You're fat. I'm not going to try to change you. I was fat. I don't want anyone to change me. So if you got an overweight spouse, guess what? Accept them. Don't try to get them in shape. If you got a guy who likes to curse, guess what? Accept him or go have sex with Joel Osteen. Love and respect. Reserved. When you were heavy, what was your average daily intake? 10,000 plus calories, man. I let myself completely go, man. I mean, completely go. So I couldn't even tell you, but it was off the Richter scale, man. I was 350. I could barely tie my shoes, man. Man, those were some good days, though. I'm not going to lie. Did you eat a lot? Hell yeah. Every day, all day. Or was it just garbage, high calorie? It was both and all. Like on a Sunday, forget about it. I'm rolling my fat ass up, eating, going right back on the bed. Oh, it was a disaster, but it was fun. George, P2 plumber, thinking about work tomorrow. I know it sucks, brother. I'm trying to even think about myself. Thanks for your insights, for the breath of fresh air. God bless you, brother. And thanks for keep spanking that monkey. Yeah, look, masturbation's healthy, man. Spank that monkey, watch free porn every night. Better that than you date someone and you have a horrible marriage and 3 kids that you don't want and then a nasty divorce. And then they say, oh, well, something's wrong with masturbation. No, if more people masturbated and less people had kids, healthier society. You know how many people come in here devastated from divorce? A lot, okay? There should be teaching people to masturbate and not have kids. Society will be a lot better. Only have kids if you're 100% sure. Now, people don't want to hear that, but most people, the children don't want to talk to them. So what do you want me to say? Surfer. Blanton sounds like a weird name. Yo, don't disrespect Surfer. 2 strikes. I love you. I want to be a compassionate man. I want to be a compassionate man. I have to always try to pull myself back. I don't want to disrespect anyone. I don't want to hurt anyone. But Surfer Mama, you got 2 strikes on you. All right? First strike was telling me not to curse. Second strike, disrespect my man Bland. I don't know if that's Blanton's real name. His real name may be, whatever. But just let him be him. Okay? Tom Hanks. Do I think that's his real name? Hell no. But, that's my guy. Let Blanton do him. You do Surfer Mama. Is that your real name? Surfer Mama? I mean, come on. Is that the, pot calling the kettle black or what? Come on. Come on. I mean, God bless. Come on. It's crazy. Tom, Sam, do what you want. Thank you. Appreciate that love. That's the type of people I want in my life. I don't want you. I just want love. You've inspired me to learn not to care what people think. Well, that's good. Now, look, when you're at work, you got to play the game. But other than that, yeah. I'm glad to have found your channel. I'm glad to have you. Love and respect. Now, look, you got to play the game, and I treat people right. But obviously, look, obviously in a professional setting, you do what you got to do. You got to bite your tongue sometimes, but in your personal setting, in your personal time, you got to do you. Because you can't stress yourself out at work and stress yourself out at home in your private personal time. I mean, this is my home right now. You guys are in my house. This is it. You don't come to my house and tell me how to live. This is my house. You get the fuck out, man. God bless. All right? Tony, Sam, you need a TV show. Well, this is it. I paid to watch that. Well, super chat the shit out of this, man. I ain't mad at that. But I guess you already I'm praying for you, but I appreciate that. Love and respect, Tony. Bland, thank you, Tony. Bland. That's Surfer Mommy. We're going to be positive. We're going to be positive. We're going to be positive. I'm not going to repeat. I already spoke up for you. Gerald, no, man, you're the best. Well, I appreciate that. Love and respect, Gerald. Thank you. Tony, Sam, you don't need speed down 95. You're crazy. I'm surprised. Well, I do. I was young. Didn't you die or get arrested? No, I could have. But so I'm 38 now. That was when I was 21, 22, whatever, something like that. And sometimes, when an asshole speeds on the other side of me, I say, well, look at this guy. He's going to kill someone. And then God reminds me, goes, Sam, remember what you were doing at 21? I say, all right. Now, I still get pissed, but I say, you know what? I got to remember that. Now I'm mature and I drive the speed limit. I drive, I take my time. I mean, and, back in the day, I'd have my music loud. I'd be driving crazy, smoking a cigarette, fucking, you know what I mean? I remember driving on I-95 on the fast lane. Some guy gave me the high. I remember going through a speed tour, and I was going to race up to him and get after him. Why is this guy high beaming me? But, when you're young, that's where you're at in your mind. You're not mature. And so thank God that only the grace of God saves you from some of that reckless thinking. Tracy, I didn't know that Skinny Pop was made by Hershey's. I didn't know either. I Googled that a couple months ago. Interesting. Tracy, cool. Air Mob, what's up, man? Hello, Sam. Very informative video early on the stealth parking. Yes, I did a video today on stealth parking again because I live out of my car full time. I have for 2 years. I owned a condo for 15 years, so I know both sides of the coin. Now, look, sometimes I stealth park, but what I was trying to communicate is try not to make it your foundational habit. Allow it to be a one-off. Now, certainly, look, again, if you're destitute and you got no money, you got to do what you got to do. I'm not here to tell people how to live. And if I had to do what I had to do, I wouldn't hurt anyone, but I would do what I have to do. I want people to live a well life, and I want them to try. There is free campgrounds, there is free parking, but you have to work a little bit harder. You got to drive a little bit more. So if, do whatever you want. I just tried to share some insight on some of the journey based on my perspective. There's many perspectives. Everyone's unique, but that gives you some insight. Okay, good job, Tracy. I like the brand skate pop. You learn something new every day. Yep, that's true. Sound John, stopping in. Good to see you, brother. Good evening. Busy here in Florida. Love and respect to all my Floridians. State parks are steady booked. Yeah. Well, I found a few new ones, but there are state park. You haven't seen nothing yet. The state parks get booked January to March, very hard. But I still got a few ones. I found a couple ones today I scoped out. If you go to the west coast of Florida too, there's a little bit more availability. But it all depends. But they're out there, and just remember, you don't have to go to state parks. You can just Google parks, campgrounds near me. Now, I like state parks the most because usually they're the cheapest, to be honest with you. Just remember, if you're living in your car, you're a tent camper. You may want to buy a $20 Walmart tent, but I only go there at night. I go to sleep, and then I'm out of there. I don't set up a tent, but I'm in and out. I'm not there all day. Some people stay all day. I just saw a popular YouTuber. She's down here in Florida, too, so Sound John. Glad I found your channel back then, too. Thank you. Much love. Same back to you, brother. Surfer Mama, here we go. I'm just ranging on you good. I got love for you. I don't want to hurt no one. I don't deceive my kids, but I deceive my 20-year-old boys that want a nice MILF. I was looking at some good MILFs today. I love you, buddy. I love you, too. And Blanton, yes, we're all back together peacefully again. Praise the Lord. I want everyone to live in peace. Blanton, thanks for speaking up for me. I got love. We're all pieced up now. We don't want to bring up bad thoughts. Tom, I'll super chat you. But I already super chatted the towing company 100%. I ain't mad at that. Nah, always do you. In life, make sure you're in a good place. Pay off your debt, save up, take care of yourself. That's you got to, you don't want to make life easier for someone and you're struggling. That's not good. Aaron, Nomad, you show true discipline in choosing compassion instead of anger. I failed sometimes, and sometimes I still fail. I'm trying to mature more. Like if I look at some of my earlier visits, I was probably a little bit too rough. So now you can't be too kind, too nice. People walk all over you. It's a tough balance. But yeah, look, I believe compassion and empathy is the core of everything. But I also know that people take you as long as you let them take you. So it's a balance. It's not easy to find that balance. It's often a harder decision not to give in to the lower emotion. Good job. No, I know. And like I said, I have failed. It's an ongoing thing of maturity. But I understand that most people are hurting. And I understand that because I feel the pain of life. And that's why I share these thoughts with you. I feel the pain of life. And so I know that if I feel it and that God has given me the level of grace and strength he's given me, I know other people are barely holding on. And so like I got to remember that, like when I get pissed, that look, Sam, you're holding it together. You know how tough it is. Imagine other people, they're on a fucking break of like totally like self explosion. And so I got to say, Sam, be compassionate. And compassion does matter. Look, you know, somebody, like when I was walking today, I was walking with my head down, I was thinking of some shit. And, a lady just smiled and said, hello, good afternoon. Now, sometimes I say, shut the fuck up. Like in my mind, I say, shut the fuck up. But like, sometimes I say, well, that was nice of her. You know what I mean? So, and like, it brings a smile to my face. So, it does help to be nicer. It does help to smile. It does help to like, embrace that, not just be negative. Thank you. Tony at Sam. I feel you, Jessica. Is taking all that money. Dropping names. Don't drop names. Come on, man. You gotta give people their privacy. Gerald, right, Aaron? Sam. Laugh out loud. Who is that? Now, don't drop them real names. Forgive me if I say the name wrong. Kawaja Allen. Good living is hard to get to, bro. No, it is. There's no doubt about that. Love and respect. Look, I don't try to BS you guys. All I can tell you is the same thing I tell myself. I take life one day at a time. I try to do the best I can, and that's what you should try to do. I try to eat healthy. I try to cut off unhealthy relationships. I try to mature. I look at myself. I say, Sam, where can I get better? And I fight through life and I push forward. I'm not trying to sell you guys something that I don't live myself, and that's all I could tell you. But I totally understand. But I'm not going to associate with people that are negative or that hurt others. I have to try to be as positive as possible. Love and respect. Tony. Tom, she's fine. Fine player model. All right, I ain't mad at that. Reserved. Does your remote job feel as secure job as you went into the office each day? No, it feels less secure. It does. And that worries me sometimes. And if, God forbid, I lost my job, finding another remote job like I have, very hard. And so that's why I think about that. And that's why I also think about that. Well, right now, I'm not going to buy a home base because, God forbid, I have to think worst case scenario. If I lost my job, I'd probably have to get like a job in Miami somewhere. That's where the main jobs are in my field. So Miami's, it's so crowded. But I'd probably go and buy something in the suburb of Miami. Because if I have a static job again and I work during the day, I almost have to get a place to stay. Because, unless I work night shift, but in my field, in my position, I wouldn't be able to work nights anymore in most cases. But I don't know. But I just know right now that's kind of like why I'm keeping my flexibility. Look, I hope I stay with my job and my company for years to come. Look, I would love to get rich another way. But I've worked for 22 years for a reason. It's the only way to feed myself. So, but look, when you work a remote job or things like that, no, you're higher on the risk level. There's no way around that. But I know I'd made the right decision because, believe me, I'd rather have higher risk and being down in Florida than if I was still in New Jersey on a more secure job. Disaster. And actually, what had happened if I would have kept my job in the office, they had layoffs in that department. They created a new department and laid off a department. Now, I know I would have stayed because I spoke to upper man. I know like I would have been the one to stay, but if I would have stayed, somebody else would have got laid off. So I made the right decision. I know that going into the position I'm at now, I know I did. But yeah, it does worry me that sometimes, look, I could lose my job, and then where do I go from there? The only thing that kind of saves my grace is I say, look, it's just you in this world. If the shit really hits the fan, just like I did when I was like 27, I was like a journeyman electrician, whatever. I lost my job. I worked at a pizzeria. I delivered pizzas. Look, I mean, I do what I have to do. I don't want to, but if the shit hit the fan, I mean, I'd work. I worked my whole life, so I would love to be a YouTube star. I would love to make money like that, but uh, all I've ever done in my whole life is work, and that's the only reason I've been able to live my dreams, because you need money for everything you do. Um, and so, but yeah, no, it's a good question, and I'm probably gonna make some videos, not about my job per se, and not about my company, because again, I always got to keep that separate, but just about working remote or working static. There's a different feel. Luke. What's up, Sam? Happy Sunday to you. There's a guy. Brother, you're doing well. Good to see you live. Good to see you. I hope you and your Russian girlfriend doing very good, brother. And you keep flipping those t-shirts. And I saw the comment on my channel. You found something else you were going to flip. Luke likes to buy things cheap and then flip them. And there's nothing wrong with that. People do that with houses and everything else. It's a little risky, but that's good. Deb. Hey, Sam. Hey, Deb. Good to see you. Emma. The Bible says that women should remain quiet. Yep, it does. And not speak when other men are speaking in a church. Yep, and sit in a separate part. And it also told slaves to obey their slave masters. So there's a part of the Bible that you got to think for yourself. And that you can't, it was just written by men. And then the Catholic Church, under pressure from the Roman Empire, put it together. And they declared it to be the Holy Sacred. The Bible has changed my life, but it really only changed my life. There's divine principles in the Bible, but if you read them through man-made religious dogma, you're going to be a religious prick and you're never going to get saved. You got to read the Bible through your own thought. If God lives inside you, you don't need someone else to tell you how to live. Those things can guide you, just like a video of mine can guide you, just like something you say can guide someone. But, you know, you have to evolve with the God that lives inside you. And that's why, you know, look, if people didn't question what was said in the Bible, there's a reason. You know, like sometimes too, like people say, well, America's blessed because we believe in God. No, America's blessed because there's a separation between church and state. And if you don't believe that, go look at other countries that are run by religion. Disaster. Disaster. I believe in God, I believe in Jesus, I believe in a certain amount of, look, at the end of the day, it's all about the whole Bible. Jesus says, summed up, treat others how you want to be treated. That's it. Once you start mind fucking it and you go into the tongues and you go into this and that, and it's not mocking. But I'm sharing like passion and a little bit upsetness, is that you get lost. And I've seen it. I've seen people, they're talking in tongues, they're doing all this, they're doing this, and they're getting divorced, and they're committing adultery, and their kids don't like them, and they don't like themselves, and they got anxiety, and they're popping pills, and they're gluttony. Gluttony's a deadly seventh sin. So if you're overweight and you're speaking in tongues, you're committing a sin. Because it says gluttony is a sin. And what's gluttony? Stuff in your face. Overeating. Okay? So it's easy to say adultery is a sin. It's easy to say that, but so is gluttony. People don't want to talk about that. Why? Because then they'll say, look, I got to lighten the fuck up. Amen. Watch some free porn. Good job. How can someone preach gospel while going against it? What's your opinion? I kind of just broke it down like in general terms, but I'll elaborate more as I go on. Gerald, good question. Luke, I remember living in Miami Beach, and Miami traffic was horrific. It is, man. Now, look, nothing is worse than Manhattan traffic. That's why I used to take the train to Manhattan. But Miami traffic, I mean, once you get south of Boca Raton, congested traffic. But still better than being in New York, in my opinion. Tom, where's Connor and his lizard? I think I lost Connor. Too much curse words. Haven't heard from him in a while. We got love for him. I saw some lizards today. Everyone, you can follow me on Instagram. I posted a picture of a lizard crawling up a tree. My Instagram is the word inspire, the symbol _38. Inspire _38, the number 38. Inspire _38. I posted a picture of a beautiful palm tree, of a lizard crawling up a palm tree, and of street art in West Palm Beach. Good job. Gerald, you're a YouTuber. Start us. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for the compliment. Thank you. I appreciate that. Forgive me if I say the name wrong. Eon Morant. Hello. Love and respect. Hello to you. James. Happy Sunday. Sunday fun day. Even if you gotta fake it. Sometimes fake it, but I'm thankful. I'm healthy. not in a hospital. I'm in Florida. A year ago today, a remote job wasn't even on the radar. I was shooting for one, but there wasn't even a job posting. I didn't. I actually looked in some of my old posts, and this time last year was I actually took a vacation to Florida, and I remember taking a vacation to Florida. I said, man, I don't want to leave here. Um, and I've been going to Florida for a couple of years, and it kept getting worse. And I always wanted to be like Tom Hanks in the movie Cocktail, where he went down to Bermuda or whatever he went and never came back. Well, he eventually came back because of the girl, but he didn't want to come back. He was on what they call a staycation. Uh, and that's how I felt about Florida. And I got to be thankful. I'm living my dream, so I got to be thankful. Now, look, the only part that's missing is me being independently wealthy and just running around frolicking with milfs, and then coming back to report to you live all night at night. But right now I got to work, so I got to be thankful. Uh, Suave. I am Florida native, okay, and can attest that Miami is very crowded, definitely, and traffic is a mess, definitely. High crime in some parts, yeah, like any city, that's true. Better learn Spanish. I love Spanish and Creole, yes. High level of Latino Americans and Haitian Americans, but I love that. I grew up. My best friend was Haitian. My first love was Puerto Rican and black. I love the culture. It's just like Jersey and New York. I love diverse culture. I wouldn't want to be in an area like that was just like all one type people. I love that. That's why I love Florida, because it speaks to my heart, which is like good mix of people. Uh, Forgive me if I say his name wrong. Eon. I have a rare condition that makes me unlikable. Well, hey, look, I understand. Uh, just do you, be you, and if people don't like it, it is what it is. But if you're an asshole, you gotta look in the mirror. I don't know what the case is. Love and respect, Josh. Just dropping in, quick to say hi. Love, brother. I think about you all the time. I say, I wonder if Josh wants me to post something with a palm tree. I'm gonna make some videos about Florida. Don't worry, I know I'll lose you on some stuff. Glad to see you're still doing well. Same to you. I hope you and your son are doing well. No, it's cold as hell right now in Michigan, but hopefully maybe you went to the car dealership this Sunday and you looked around. It's very magical. James, Sam, that sub looked good, brother. It was magical. I had another one today. And Skinny Pop, the salt and pepper kind. Good. Tony, at Eon. Me too. I thought it was just me. All right. Sound John. I've worked my whole life. You have. But being retired and still good health, amen, is a great, being 100% free every day. Now, God bless you, brother. And it's great to be free every day. And I want, even though I'm not sure what I'm looking for. Well, that's good comment. Salem John's retired, worked his whole life, lost his wife to cancer, recently sold his boat that he used to live out of. Now he's going to do van life. Live out of a van. Brother, while you figure it out, wake up early, get as much as this Florida sun as you can, walk every day on the beach, and play your music. I know you like music. Play that music. I was listening to Sade today, driving up, and light jazz, just like instrumental jazz. Like, first I was listening to Sade, I was getting a little sad because she likes to do sad songs, but I like Sade. And then I was sitting in Publix eating another sub, vegetarian sub, and some guy was like in front of me, like he was walking like the beach path in front of me, and he was like singing out loud. And I was like, damn, he's jamming. And then he got in his car and he played what he was listening to, like light jazz. I said, damn, that sounds good. And then so I put on Spotify, I hit light jazz, just instrumental, and I just walked like on a cloud, like for an hour to that. It was very magical. Tom, at Surfer Mama, I clicked on your channel and the name says Stefan. Uh-oh. Do you change your account name? Could be. There's some people in here that claim they're a girl, and next thing I know, they're a dude. They say, Sam, I love you. I want to do a meet and greet. My name is Becky. I'm in college. Next thing I know, their name is John Wilkerson, and they're from Ohio, and they have a Ford F-150, and they change their own oil. Is that the truth? Oh, that's the truth. Will I ever do a meet and greet? Probably not. Okay, good job. James, Sam, I like the things you talk about. They touch my soul. Well, amen. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. James, Peak, you explain well about stress and anxiety. Thank you, brother. Luke, what was the highlight of your weekend? Anything fun or exciting? Walking along the beach, listening to light jazz, and having the hot Florida sun hit me with a cool ocean breeze. And a couple episodes of MILF porn. That's true. That's all I want in life. Damn. Luke, Tom Cruise was in Cocktail. Yes, great movie. I love that movie, Cocktail. That's what I was referencing. Luke, That would be so awesome, Sam, reporting live from over there. Top 3 MILFs of today. I should do that. Now, if I get independently wealthy, I'm definitely doing that. Then all holds bar. I'm doing that. Luke, you being a reporter for us, I love to give you guys live MILF action. I may do that, but I got to get independently wealthy first. James, Sam, I love Sundays. I'm not mad at that. I have a lonely feel to them relaxed settling, brother. Amen. I understand, brother. I totally do. James, Sam, I love Sunday. Oh, I read that. I'm sorry. Doug from New Mexico. What's up, brother? Doug, let's see what Doug's got going on. Are you drinking a Miller Lite? Doug says, hello, Sam. I'm heading to Phoenix for 9 days. Have a good time, brother. What are you doing this Thanksgiving weekend? Nothing. I talked to my mom. I'm not going up north. I'm going to be in Florida. I'll probably just I got a reservation at a campground for a couple days. And then I'm going to go to a different part of Florida and check out a different campground and see if I want to do that. But I'm just going to drive around Florida. I'm just going to walk the beach, watch some free porn at night. And that's my dream. Good to see you, brother. I hope you and your family have a great Thanksgiving. I love you. Doug. Well, I am man named Doug. Haha, I know. Oh, yeah. Well, who knows? Who knows? Maybe you're a robot. People are freaking nuts. They are, but that's okay. Everyone's got to do them. Life isn't easy. So, look, if it makes you feel better to call yourself Becky and you're from Miami and you want to do a meet and greet, if it makes you feel better saying that, but you're really like, John from Idaho, I'm okay with that. As long as you don't stalk me, I'm okay. Yeah. I think that indirectly I was drawn to someone who ended up like my father. That's interesting. But it took me 12 years to actualize it. He thought he was the one who saved me from a burning building. This is true. He thought was the one who saved me from a burning building. Well, that's interesting. Thank you, Deb, for sharing. Tony, Luke, Sam, MILF report. Hell yeah. I ain't mad at that. Doug, no Miller Lite. No way. Good wine on a local winery. I'm not mad at that. Love and respect, brother. Cheers. All right, guys. I gave it the best I got. For some people, it's great. For some people, it's just good enough to watch for a little bit. For some people, they got the hell out of here. All I can do is be me. All you can do is be you. Deb says, our first home burned down. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't wish. Thank you for sharing. Love and respect. I remember my house caught on fire when I was young. My sister, I don't know, she got high or something. She had fell asleep with a cigarette next to her, and half the wall caught on fire. And I remember I was sleeping in the bed. My room was like across from hers, and I'm sleeping in the bed, and I smell like, I said, damn, somebody doing a cookout. And so I wake up, it's like a burn smell. What the hell's going on? And then I wake up, and like I'm trying to go like where the smell is, and I go over to my sister's room, and as soon as I open the door, like all this like heat comes at me, and the whole wall's on fire. So then I go to the bathroom, which is right next to us, and I get a bucket, and I'm like dumping the water on the wall, and thank God I put that thing out. Whole house would have burned down. And insurance wouldn't have paid for it. Why? Because we didn't have smoker's insurance. Because my mom tried to call the insurance company after like the wall was damaged and everything. And they said, no, we don't cover that because you listed that you don't have any smokers in the house. We would have lost the whole house. We would have no insurance. Make a mental note of that. What were we at? Luke, have you ever listened to any part of those Richard Simmons phone pranks? No, I haven't. Maybe I'll check them out. But I got my schedule's busy. I'm doing YouTube videos. I got to watch free porn and I got to go to work. I can't squeeze much more in, but I'll check it out. Doug, we are headed to a wonderful hotel, Winslow, Arizona. I'm not mad at that. I'll be standing in a corner in Winslow, Arizona tomorrow. I'm not mad at that. Then Phoenix. Good job, brother. I want you to have a great time. I love you, man. I love you. Luke, somebody was imitating Richard Simmons' voice saying, my name is Becky and I'm your lover. Really? I didn't know that. That's interesting. Tom, good night. Good night to you, brother. Tony, Sam, you like jazz. I play alto sax. Amen, brother. That's love and respect. I tried to play sax. I actually tried to play that when I was young. I remember my mom like renting me a sax. Because if you wanted to do it, you had to rent a sax or buy one. I rented one. And I wanted to be smooth and play one. I lasted, I think, 3 months and then I quit. But I love jazz, man. And I love saxophone. That was my favorite instrument, truth be told. If I could play any instrument, it'd be sax and then piano. But I can't. So now all I do is got to make the MILFs laugh. When you got no musical gifts, what do? You just make the MILFs laugh and you hope for the best. Yep. Faulty wiring caused our 30-year-old trailer. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry, Deb. Thank you for sharing. Very interesting. Sound John. Have a great night, Sam. Catch you later. Love and respect, brother. You too. Tracy. I'm still here. Thank you. I lost my apartment due to a fire. Wow, you guys are sharing some good stuff. A fire on July 4th. See, and that's what I mean. Deb and Tracy, thank you for sharing. And that's why, like, I try to remember when I'm ready to get pissed. Most people are hurting. A lot of pain out there. And I don't take that for granted. Thank you for sharing. Luke, have you ever listened to those Jerky Boys pranks? No, I'm not really into pranks. I don't like pranks. I think they cause fights. And I don't like putting people through an emotional roller coaster. That's never been my style. I don't play pranks. I don't like pranks. Like, I remember when I was part of the football team, what they would do is, like, every Friday night or every night before a football game, we would have like a sleepover at one of the players' house, and all the guys would play pranks. Like, they put like hot sauce in your ear or something like that, and it caused some fights. And I remember, like, I was like, man, I ain't going to these fucking things anymore, because, like, you couldn't even go to sleep because people do something crazy to you when you're sleeping, and it caused beef, like, and so I don't like pranks. Don't like them. Don't do them. Tracy, good night. Good night to you, Luke. All right, Sam. Have a good night, brother. Wishing you an awesome night and a good start tomorrow. Thank you. Yes, I will pray for everyone tomorrow. Please pray for me. I pray that we have a good week at work. I got off a couple days, Thursday and Friday, so hopefully it's not too busy this week. But I know I got a couple things tomorrow morning. I already know I got to get done. Gotta stand for something. We fall for anything. Yeah, as best you can. Just remember, we're saved by grace. All right? Go in peace.